That's the kind of thinking that we want to be thinking about every moment. So just to recap, I think this could have been prevented.
Great finish from him. A lot of times you see guys get that wrong, miss the target entirely. But very good technique. And that's a dangerous foul. Zatella there. Look out. There's Zatella. Danny Zatella has a way of getting under opponent's skin. Played with Danny Zatella last year.
That's the kind of thinking that we want to be thinking about every moment. So just to recap, I think this could have been prevented. There were probably 3 or 4 opportunities where the referee could have called a foul in this center part of the area. One being here, but we don't get a good look, so we give him the benefit of the doubt. The one that in particular bothers me is this challenge. And so referees, when we do field training sessions and we focus on quick dynamic movement from side to side, does the referee have any view of this foul whatsoever? No. A tackle's gone over the top of the ball, boot exposed, and he's trailing it. And he's trailing it because if you watch his movement prior to that, he's just sort of very lightly jogging around. He's not doing any kind of quick dynamic movement. Whereas if he moves quickly to the side, perhaps he gets a better angle of view there and can blow the whistle. Either way, there's a series of 3 or 4 situations all in a very, very short span, and any one of them he could have blown the whistle and kept this from happening by just calling a simple foul somewhere. Once you start to get 3, 4, 5, 6 challenges in a really tight area, one right after the other, usually something bad's going to follow. And that's something we have to be sensitive to. So it could have been avoided by a simple foul earlier. But once we get there, we get that big one. Now, again, we talk about proximity to technical area, definitely things to be thinking about. Again, if we know that this player here with the gloves on was the one who committed the rash challenge over the ball, then we should know that he's going to go and get really upset here in a second, which he does. So avoidable, probably, but once we're in it, we're in it. So here we go. The next technique thing that's worth showing is how quickly the fourth official moves right away to get over there. Good recognition of a potential problem. I would have liked to see him run and grab a hold of the coach so that the coach doesn't come onto the field, because at the end of the day, this coach does come on. Now, it's close enough to the technical area, and he comes on in a peacemaking mode, so okay, we live with it. But an ideal scenario, quicker dynamic motion from the fourth official to get over and get the coach back so that that's off the field. Speaking about the referee, and Kevin, this is where we come back to grabbing a hold of a player. Gets himself in there and immediately creates separation right there between the problem player and everybody else who wants to go get him. So this is a tactic as referees. If you're going to go in there and try to keep it from happening, the most effective thing you can do is to isolate the source of the problem. And by the source of the problem, I don't necessarily mean the player who committed the foul or the player who, is out getting everybody. It's who out there is everybody else wanting to get a hold of. And right now, it's number 14. At the professional level and the levels just below it, they're not going to go after you if you're standing between the guy they want and them. They're not going to push you. They're not going to hit you to get out of the way. And so as soon as he gets his body in there, nobody can go and get him. So a tactic you can use here is to grab a hold of the person that is the source of the problem, the one that everybody wants to get at. Grab a hold of them, get your body between them, and move them away from the area, which this referee does a really, really great job here. he not only gets his body there, but then he grabs him by the arms and the shoulders and moves him away from the problem area. You see, he's got a hold of him here and physically pushes him out of it and gets his body at all times. So he moves him a good 5 yards away from the problem area because all the bodies are going to be stuck together, and now he's got him out of that. So you remove the problem away from the area and let everybody else sort it out, because everybody else in there is mad at that guy, not at each other. They're going to get it sorted out usually. And then importantly, doesn't let go of him. And there's a tactic here I want you to realize. He keeps the player behind him, holding on to him, but facing everybody else. So once he's out of that situation, get turned around, but keep a hold of him and watch everything else so that you're seeing who's coming at you. Keeps him the whole time, holding on to him the whole time, never letting him go. See how his arms tucked back around his waist? He's never going to let go of him. And even after he's talking to the AR, he never lets go of him. Still holding on to him. Still holding on to him. So he's now held on to him for probably the better part of about 30 seconds. And that's really important because A, he's the guy you're going to caution anyway, and smart players will try to disappear in the mess in case you didn't catch their number. And so by holding on to him, he's making sure the guy he knows for sure he has to come back and sanction, he knows exactly where he is all the time because he's got a hold of him. And he's helping him and he's saving him. So the player right now thinks he's helping him when really he's holding on to him to make sure, A, nobody else gets to him, but B, he knows where the sanction needs to be. So a couple of really great tactics in here that we can take away on how to deal with a mass confrontation like this. Get in there, grab the source of the problem, remove them from the problem area, and hold on to them, turn around and keep everybody in your line of sight. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I have one question, Mr. Buckman.
Who is
Did
it?
that player, number 14, actually receive a caution for his challenge?
Yes, he did.
All right, yep, thank you.
Any other questions?